What's up, everyone? It's RC, the Hawkeyes and Caitlin fan. And yeah, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark. So we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark's areas of success in areas for improvement. And I think that, it's probably best if we start with her areas of success. When you look at a generational talent like Caitlin Clark, one of the most electrifying players in our game today. You look at a player that obviously there may be some bias with me being a fan, but I also know that, what she does and her stats and achievements are the truth. So, when we look at what Caitlin can do and her areas of success, we obviously know that she's a tremendous knockdown shooter, especially from the three-point range. We know that she's a good driver of the basketball to the cup. We know that she's a brilliant passer. These are things that we know. Now, we understand, before we even get to areas of improvement, that Caitlin, she had some tremendous accolades this season. So salute to that. Also achieving being the Rookie of the Year. Major salute right there. And I just look at Caitlin Clark and I say, you know what? When she got that rest coming out of Olympic break, she was even better. So, it's something to be said about, making sure you take care of your body and, get your proper rest in. And it kind of makes me wonder, should she go ahead and play unrivaled, which to me personally, I don't think she's going to do it. I mean, you got 31 spots filled now. Alyssa Thomas chose to take the spot number 31. But getting back to what we're really here to talk about, areas of, success for Caitlin Clark. Obviously, she's a very impactful scorer. It would make sense that her scoring would dip down like it did. She didn't average as much as she did in college at Iowa, but 19.3, it was 19.2 points a game in the WNBA is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I think that, that will continue to go up, her scoring average. If you ask me how, I couldn't tell you how, because her and Kelsey Mitchell average the same points a game. And maybe it won't go up, especially if Kelsey Mitchell comes back. Maybe if she doesn't come back, maybe her scoring average will go up, But in any case, Caitlin Clark, she does really well in terms of drawing fouls. At least she did in college. And I thought she did fairly well. I think for all of those individuals who say, she never got, fouls, I don't think it was that. I think Caitlin Clark did garner some fouls. She just didn't get, as many fouls called, as probably should been called, but ultimately, I think Caitlin Clark, did step to the free throw line a good amount of times, and, she's a wonderful free throw shooter. Again, she's got one of the sweetest strokes that I ever seen, but I just think that, really she will be that much better, seeing as though she's not going to be as fatigued. But if she plays unrivaled, I don't know, something, good playing basketball can be great for you when it's what you do. But rest, there's something to be said about rest. You don't want too much rest, but, some rest, I perceive it to be key. For me, though, I just want to see her continue to, show the drive, continue to, grow her game, which we're about to segue into, areas of improvement for Caitlin Clark. But it's one thing I want to say before we do. I also want to say she's a really underrated rebounder, and I think that, that's something that doesn't get said enough, the way she rebounds and just gets the break started. And I also feel like, to be honest with you guys, she plays passing lanes really well, so she definitely gets, a hand in there and gets some steals that she probably otherwise wouldn't, get. But, she gets some steals playing that passing line. Now, areas of improvement for Caitlin Clark. I think you guys know where I'm going to go first here. First, when it comes to areas of improvement, Caitlin Clark has got to get better defensively. Woman-to-woman defense, you got to make an honest effort there. And it's more so just about her buckling down and doing it. And I'm not here to say, like, Caitlin Clark doesn't make attempts to play defense, but what I tell you guys is the effort needs to be there. She's got to put the work in, and she's got to want to do it. This is the professional level, the highest level. It's a necessity. In college, perhaps it wasn't a necessity, and then perhaps maybe if Jan Jensen was the coach, then maybe we might have seen more defense from Caitlin. But then again, I could be wrong. I could be barking up the wrong tree. Don't want to ruffle any feathers. I know Lisa Bluter was the ultimate coach for Caitlin Clark in terms of just, unlocking the door and just letting her roam wherever, letting her do whatever she want to do offensively. A lot of covering for Caitlin. But Caitlin, she has some nice, off-ball blocks. She has some great games where she stole the ball a lot of times. But, that woman-to-woman defense, the NBA will be called man-to-man defense. That's got to improve. Her team defense has got to improve, making rotations and switches. If nothing else, Caitlin just has to, show, attention to detail on the defensive side of the ball. And I think now that you have so many offensive options and maybe more to come, you should have, time to also play defense. Defense, it's a, grind by nature. It's a want to do thing. And I believe that in my heart of hearts, I believe Caitlin wants to be, she wants to do everything in this game. And I definitely feel she wants to do whatever it takes to win. Again, it's the final level. This is the cream of the crop. This is high as you can go, unless you're playing, for Olympic gold medal. Defense is needed. And Stephanie White said at her presser, team defense will be demanded. And, for me, if we see Caitlin Clark playing defense, and I do feel there were a few times Caitlin absolutely did show some attention to defense, and we just need that on a consistent basis and more if she wants to give that, and if Coach Stephanie demands that, and they both on the same page, then play that defense because it's needed. Otherwise, everybody got to cover your mistakes or mishaps. And I look at it like she's young enough to go ahead and do this and play defense. We've seen Sabrina Ionescu play great defense at times, not all the time, throughout the course of the WNBA playoffs, and you see where it gets you. It gets you somewhere. So, no shade to the great Caitlin. Just something that, we just believe, me personally, I believe that she can do it. So, I want to see her do it, and I believe she can play defense. Well, should she improve? The obvious place right here would be another place we're going to go is turnovers. Turnovers, everybody knows about it. Everybody's heard about it. It's a chronic issue. It's something that, Caitlin dealt with, even if we go back to Iowa, averaging 5 turnovers a game. And this is just something that Caitlin's got to clean up. And this takes, IQ and ball control and making sure that, you don't limit yourself. You don't not take, the risk, and you still, deliver the ball in transition. And there's moments where you can, roll the dice, but, improving upon taking care of that basketball, because there was just absolutely too many giveaways. And, anti-Clarkies, that basically knocked their socks off. They just had a field day with that. And, it's not so much about them anyway. But the whole thing for me is that you just can't give games away, and ultimately the turnovers do give games away. But on the flip side, you look at what she did great real quick, which was the assist. So it does kind of, wash out the turnovers. But to be more impactful, to be that much more sharper, which also has to do with increasing, IQ, is knowing when to take a chance and when not to take a chance. When to play it safe and when not to play it safe. So, yeah. Do I think she can improve? Absolutely. Absolutely. Caitlin Clark is going to get better with the ball control and making, the right, mental risks when it comes to dishing out that basketball, or just handling it carelessly. Otherwise, she probably going to have to move over to the 2. And she's playing the point well, which, leads me to the final thing that we want to talk about when it comes to, areas of improvement. And that final thing is shot selection, which to me is the easiest adjustment that Caitlin Clark can make. You can absolutely have your long distance ring ups, aka your long ball 3-point shots. You know, there's going to be times when she feels it and she's going to absolutely go bonkers from out there, or just a simple, you know, long distance 3-point shot, you know. But for me, it should be very easy for Caitlin Clark to adapt in terms of mixing up her shot selection because, you know, it's very important. You know, if you're making threes, then teams will adjust to that. But if you're not making 3-point shots, then they might just let you stand out there and shoot them, you know. But if you can mix it up, if you can get inside to the cup and mid-range, you know, it makes the defense, you know, makes it tougher for them to be able to deal with you. You know, tougher for them to be able to stop you. And I spoke about how she got a sweet shot, and I really feel like, you know, all she needs to do is just mix her bag up some, and, you know, that's something she can do. She's got the floater game. You know, she's really effective with making layups. Caitlin don't miss too many of those, you know, so attack the rim, you know, mix up that mid-range game, get a beautiful mid-range game going, you know, sort of like Lucy Olsen has. And, you know, then you can just, you know, continue to open up the floor with your threes. And if you feel like you got a heat check from out there, then, you know, go right ahead. But just make sure you just entertain every part of that basketball court. And I think that's something that her and Stephanie White go and address and talk about and let it be known. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with settling for twos sometimes. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's about winning the game. So there it is, people. There it is. Those are the areas of success and the areas of improvement. So let me know in the comment section what you think Caitlin needs to improve on. Let me know what you think that she already does great and is super successful with. It's been awesome talking to you guys. Go Caitlin. You know, go Fever, go Iowa, Hawkeyes. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we're talking about. So, yeah, with that, I'm signing out. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm gone.